Handlebar bags finally are having their moment in cycling, and I have to say, it's about time. As I've said in another review, up until now, it's been my life's mission to make fun of my good buddy who swears by his top tube bag. And if you showed up to a ride with me and you had a handlebar bag, well, let's just say the bike snob in me bubbled up to the surface. Underneath all that seething insecurity was a secret desire to carry more essentials on my longer rides without overloading my jersey pockets. It's nice to keep my pockets empty, my lower back cool, and throw my essentials into a bag that's easy to reach on the fly. What we've got here is a cross-section of some of the best available, and they come in a handful of different sizes. At the medium-sized end of the scale, we've got the Orucase Smuggler and the Restrap Canister, and at what seems to be the larger end of the scale, there's the Silca Grinta. The Orucase Smuggler HC is big enough to carry a 6-inch smartphone, a few bars and gels, and maybe even a spare road tube and multi-tool. And you could stuff a vest or jacket in here once you finish the bars and gels. The Smuggler features 2 adjustable rubber straps with 2 different Hyperlon loop options for placement. There's a handy nylon pull cord on the zipper and a pair of loops on each end of the zipper that you can grab when zipping and unzipping. There's also 2 mesh side pockets, and as an added bonus, it's insulated. It has a firm liner to help keep its shape, and the outer coating is water resistant. This one is just right for a road bike. Any larger and I'd feel like there's just too much up there. Some would say it's too small to depend on for a long all-day epic, but I guess that kind of depends on how many jersey pockets you have and how much you want to use them. Restrap's canister is around the same size. I've got mine on a road bike with tubulars, and I've managed to stuff in a spare tubular tire, a multi-tool, and 2 CO2s with room to spare for my iPhone 14. There's also 2 stretchy elastic mesh pockets on either end, and the straps that attach the bag to your bars are closed with very easy to use quick release buckles. It's $75, which feels kind of steep. It's also a soft, unconstructed bag designed to sit below the handlebars, and it features a bright orange cord on the zipper for easy opening and closing. The Silca Grinta is also a constructed bag, which means it's built around a plastic shell that gives the bag its shape. It's flexible but not elastic, so you can't really overstuff it like you can the canister. At $95, it's the most expensive in the group, and at 122 cubic inches, it's also the biggest on paper. And like all things Silca, it's absolutely the best looking. Seriously, it's a work of art. I pitted it toe-to-toe against the canister from a volume perspective. I never stuffed either one to full capacity, but these are 2 I'd probably reach for on longer days. All right, so rather than try to tell you how big these bags are in liters or gallons or whatever, I'm gonna show you what you can get in there in real life. These bags have room for like 2 sandwiches, a small bag of chips, and a can of your favorite cold beverage, 3 donuts and 2 breakfast burritos, or like 6 Cliff Bars and maybe 20 gels. There's tons of space for all the calories. So one by one, here's my take on each of these options. The canister is nice, and I know I said aesthetically the Silca was my favorite of the bunch, but after using it, I think I like this one the best from a visual perspective. It's perfect for a long day where you really don't want to stuff your jersey pockets with all kinds of junk. The nylon straps go on easier and tighter than the others, and they just stay tight and don't slip. It's also great for like 1 to 3 hour rides where you don't want to keep all of that stuff in your jersey pockets. And if you're a pure roadie who wants to reap the benefits of riding super light tubulars without having to fold that tire up under your seat, it's a great choice. If this was the story of Goldilocks and the 3 handlebar bags, then the medium-sized Smuggler would be the bed that was just right for me. It's small enough to look clean on any high-zoot road bike, but big enough to store those donuts, burritos, and that beer if you need to, because, you know, it's insulated. And because it's the least constructed of the constructed bags, you can kind of stuff it beyond what you think the capacity should be, and then use the handy side pockets once you run out of space inside. It's also very easy to use on the fly. The opening is positioned perfectly, and the zipper works smoothly without having to pull the bag out of shape or even hold on to the tabs to zip it one way or the other. And for what it's worth, I didn't try the light loops up front on any of the bags, and I probably wouldn't, because when I use lights at night, I typically like having them mounted on my helmet so the light goes where my eyes go. And that brings me to the Silca Grinta. Oh, Silca. So brilliant, so clever, but so completely over-engineered. Listen, I love Silca. The super secret wax is all I'll ever use, and the Nastro bar tapes are worth every penny of the exorbitant asking price. But this is my second experience with a Silca bag, and honestly, the second time I've been massively let down. My first Silca bag was one of those roll-up seat bags, which seemed really cool and clever conceptually at the time, but once I got it loaded up with my stuff, it was a hot mess under the saddle. I had to send it back, sadly, because it just didn't meet my lofty expectations. And I think the same thing happened here. Because at Silca, I expected better than perfection. And the bag itself is good, but not exceptional. It's not much different than a bag I got on Amazon for like 1/10 of the price. But where this one really falls down is the straps and buckles, which I don't even have on here anymore. Why, oh why, do they have to be so damn complicated? The rubberized coating is brilliant. It's a great idea, and I can see where they were going. They kind of wanted the coating to adhere to the bars and hold the bag in place, but they absolutely ruined the execution of the idea by employing the worst strap and buckle routing on any cycling device I've ever seen. I've put this thing on 3 different bikes now, and I still can't get the straps fully tightened up. And the weird side sliding in buckles are a problem looking for a solution. But if you take this bag and use the Orucase rubber straps with like a zip tie or something to attach this one to your cables, it's almost perfect. I just wish it was perfect out of the box, because that's what Silca is supposed to be. That makes the Smuggler the clear winner for me, with the canister in a close second. Even if Silca could clean up the mounting issues, it's still in 3rd place because it's just too flawed to be that pricey. Okay, now let's grab my new buddy Jess for a quick Ask Me Anything about these bags.
Thank you so much for your insights, Andy. That was really helpful. As someone that's getting into a lot of gravel riding, some bags I need to consider. I've been getting into gravel racing, and obviously speed is something that's very important to me. If I don't want to compromise too many watts, which bag should I go with?
Well, I'm still building my wind tunnel, so I'm waiting on my last round of funding for that. No, seriously, again, don't really have the ability to test these from an aerodynamic perspective. So let's just default to like, okay, which one has like maybe the smoothest surface, the lowest profile, and which one mounts in the right position in on your bars. So you'll want something that probably mounts a little bit below the bar tops, right? Doesn't mount in front of it. It has a kind of a smooth surface, not a lot of bumps, not a lot of wrinkles, is maybe constructed, not kind of unconstructed. From that perspective, I'm gonna have to go with the Silca because it's got a super smooth, hard pack. It doesn't have the side pockets. So this is probably gonna be the most Aero, and it's gonna mount, I think, in the best position relative to your bar tops.
Okay, good to know. If I'm debating between getting a bar bag versus a top tube bag,
right,
why would I pick a bar bag over the top tube?
If you think you're gonna fill this like half full for your race, that's about how much volume you're gonna get in the typical kind of race-sized top tube bag. So it really all depends on the length of your event, how much stuff you wanna get in here versus in your pockets. That would be my sort of deciding factor. Also, kind of goes back to the first question of speed. If you want the faster option, it's absolutely the top tube bag 100% of the time.
So bike packing, like obviously this has more space.
Oh yeah.
Good to go.
Yeah, for sure. This plus a top tube bag would be my choice for bike packing, and probably a hydration pack and all kinds of other stuff on the bike.
Awesome. That is very helpful for me. Good to know. All right, that's all the questions that I have for Andy. If you have any questions about anything he didn't cover, or you have questions beyond what I asked, please leave them in the comments. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Reach out to our Gearheads if you are debating on which bag is best for you. They would love to help you. More information about that is in the description. Enjoy your ride, and we'll see you next time.